Good morning, viewers. A few notes about Samuel Taylor Coleridge, one of the exponents of Romanticism in English literature. He lived between 1772 and 1834. He established himself as a poet, critic, and philosopher of Romanticism. He coined the term paedocracy. The Agrarian Literary Society that Coleridge and Southey planned to establish on the banks of the Susquehanna. Coleridge as the sage of Highgate. Lamb dedicated the essays of Iliad to him, described him as an archangel, a little damaged. And Lamb called him Odyssean, metaphysician, bard. I think Oedipus, Tyrannus, the alchemist, and the Tom Jones are the three most perfect plans ever planned, said by Samuel Coleridge. And Silence Tonking Cumberbatch, the false name under which Coleridge enlisted himself in the cavalry. The Fall of Robespierre, written in 1794, it is a verse drama. Coleridge wrote Act 1 and Southey, who wrote Act 2 and 3. Poems on various subjects written in 1796. This is his first book issued at Bristol. Lyrical ballads written in 1798 in collaboration with Wordsworth. 19 poems by Wordsworth and 4 poems by Coleridge. Northworthy is the rhyme of the ancient mariner. Christabel, first part published in 1797, second part in 1800. Remained unfinished. The first part was written at Nether Stowaway in 1797, the second at Keswick in 1800. Christabel meter 4-foot couplets, mostly iambic and anapestic. It is a tale of spiritual seduction set in a medieval castle. Kubla Khan, written in 1798. It is a vision in a dream. It is an unfinished poem. It is an echo of a dream. 1797, while living near the Wordsworths in Somerset, Coleridge took opium and fell asleep when reading a passage in Purchas' Pilgrimage, relating to the Khan Kubla and the palace that he commanded to be built. He claimed that on awakening he was conscious of having composed in his sleep 200 or 300 lines on this key theme, and eagerly began to set down the lines that form the fragment. Frost at Midnight is a meditative poem. It is a blank verse poem written in Stowaway, Somerset in February 1798. Addressed to his sleeping child, Hartley Coleridge, meditates on the poet's own boyhood and magically evokes the countryside, ending on a note of rare and thrilling happiness. The finest of Coleridge's series of conversation poems influenced words with Tinter Abbey Lights, France and Ode, Rejection and Ode, written in 1802. An autobiographical poem first published in the Morning Post in 1802, originally composed as a much longer verse letter to his beloved Sarah Hutchinson, describes the loss of his poetical powers, the dulling of his response to nature, and the breakdown of the marriage and the paralyzing effect of metaphysics for opium. Wordsworth partly answered in his Intimations of Immortality ode. Remorse. It is a play, a tragedy written in 1797 as Rosario, produced at Drury Lane in 1913, and the story is set in Granada at the time of the Spanish Inquisition. Tells of the slow corruption of the character of Rosario, a man who suppressed himself. Strong, but who is gradually led by temptations and events into guilt and evil. The Watchman, it is a periodical started in 1796, a political and literary journal. The journal was pacifist and advocate and included literary contributions from, among others, Beddoes and Poole. The Friend, a periodical, started in 1809, prose, Biographia Literaria, 1817, most valuable prose work, philosophical autobiography and romantic literary criticism. Part 1 broadly autobiographical, describing Coleridge's friendship with Southey and with the Wordsworth's Stowaway, and going on to trance is struggle with the dynamic philosophy of Karl Fischer and Schelling in Germany. Chapter 30 contains his famous distinction between fancy and imagination. Part 2 almost entirely critical, attacking Wordsworth's preface to the lyrical ballads and then marvelously vindicating the poetry itself. The book is a touchstone of romantic criticism and Sibylline Leaves, 18 written in 1817, aids to reflection written in 1825. It is a religious philosophical treatise, Tabletop written in 1835, published only posthumously. Thank you very much.